All right. I'm going to talk about just a little fencing left-handers and reading fencing books. Woody Craig, my dear friend, he did a video on reading the book slowly and just kind of chopping through it, slow and steady. And that was really good, I think, anyway. So I think people should just go watch that as well. But there's other parts to this that are really important to me, anyway. When you look at these books, some of them are the same as the IKEA instructions for your chair or the chair I'm sitting on. They tell you what to do when. Cool, you made a chair. Amazing. You didn't make a chair. You just put all the pieces together and like, hey, nothing fucked up. Neat. And some books really are trying to be the closest thing to a coach you could get on paper. My two favorite examples of this would be Fabris and Tybalt. They are quite personal favorites though, but I may also just be right that they are the good ones compared to the rest. Reading it slowly is really important. Also, I can't show you the working out for the following statement. I can't show you where I got it from because I don't remember. It may have come to me in a dream. Who knows? But silent reading, allegedly, is actually quite a new idea with humans. A new thought in this scheme of reading and writing. And we've spent so much time as a race not silent reading, but you read the thing and you say it at the same time. This kind of gets rid of distractions. It makes you slow down with your reading. It doesn't let you inhale books like we all did when we were young, when the latest Skullduggery Pleasant would get delivered because you had it on back order. And you would read it in a whole weekend. That's the kind of book that you could have, I don't know, concussed someone with. When it comes to fencing books, especially when they're written and how they're written, some of them are really fucking old. And there is a non-zero chance that people reading it then may have spent more time reading it out loud than trying to silent read it to inhale it. And that can have a drastic effect on how you perceive the information and consume it. When you talk about it out loud, when you say it out loud, it gets rid of some distraction. It means that you don't keep reading and then you're like, oh, I don't remember the last page I read. Which I've done a bunch. But reading it out, even reading it out to people, even reading it out to yourself, if no one can hear you reading it out to yourself, then you're fine. What the fuck is anyone going to say? And you get to hear it in the flow that the author intended it to be heard at if they were speaking. This may be intentional and maybe not. Assuming intentionality yields good things sometimes. So read it out to yourself, read it out to your teammates, read it out to your friends. If you've got a partner, read it out to them and watch them go, like, I don't actually give a shit. But it's not for them, it's for you to practice reading it out. And so many data points that reading it quietly and silently it's easy to skip through, skip over. You might be distracted by a previous point, then you read the next paragraph and you've missed everything. My favorite example is for most people when they read Tom Leone's translation of Fabris. They read Finding the Sword. No, not Finding the Sword. Contra Posture. And they actively get worse at fencing. They are actively worse at the whole game. And so I guess, why are you like this? Now I'm running a bit off memory. I've just gotten back from New Zealand, so give me a moment. But reading Finding the Sword, it has two major points to it. And the first major point being you pick a position that counters only, but explicitly, the straightest line attack from wherever their sword is in space to you, to the shortest target, or the closest target, the shortest distance to travel target, whatever gets you fucking doing the right thing, right? You manipulate your body and your position to create such. This is really cool. It makes you feel fucking invincible until someone faints the fuck out of you, or they go somewhere else and you no longer feel invincible. You're actually in obligation and you're actually just parrying over and over. Really tiny parries. They're the most efficient parries of your fucking life. You're parrying and you're in a cock-up cascade. They have tempo advantage and they lead you down the garden path. They may not hit you on the next move. Oh, just go where you're not parrying. Whoa. They might do it 4 times. And then eventually hit you with the thrust of the cut. Or, while doing that, also crunching distance on you. So then they get 2 feints in, you parry hard, and like, shit, I'm in tempo disadvantage, but I see a target I think I can hit. And they step past your point, grab your hilt, smack you on the top of the head, or put the point in front of your face. You just feel like, why? How? I was doing contra posture. The second point of contra posture that is so important, and it's really, it shows up in a lot of Italian fencing texts all the way up to the 1900s. So it is a recurring Italian fencing thought. When you pick a guard, when you pick a position, when you pick a contra position, yes, what it covers is important, as per all French fencing texts. But it's more important for what is uncovered. And that is explicit. And that is intentional. And if your guard covers everything, everyone will show you where you're uncovered. If you don't even know that you're uncovered there and they whack you, oh, I'm dumb. Now we can laugh at that rendition of it. But that's not actually the rendition we all experience. The rendition most people experience is, I was trying to do the smallest guard I could. I didn't want you to threaten here, but I also didn't want you to threaten here. I didn't feel safe. I wanted to be able to move from here to any spot easily. because like I want to be in the middle and cover that, and then I want to bounce around and just fuck up my whole day. And I really want to make fencing hard for myself because I need to do it difficultly a lot so it can become easy, or I'm terrified, or I like truly don't understand that this is a funny game where people can get tempo advantage on each other. Economy of movement is important, but still not as important as tempo advantage. So you get up in these little fucking weeds. When you care about what is uncovered, then you're truly doing contra posture. You're doing the second half of what it fucking tells you to do. That you're covering the most, the shortest or the most threatened position. Going, I'm going to negate the one that's brain dead. Fucking in it goes. And I'm going to watch all the others. I'm going to watch where you're going to go to. I'm going to be conscious, intelligent, and caring about where you're going to go next. I take this contra posture and I turn it up maybe to 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. So that this is not the place you can go through. We both know this. If you try, you feel dumb. Like, it's not like I'm just fucking creating a wall. It's like the point is pointed at them. It's covering the shot. The point is pointed at them. It's covering the shot. So I care about this being where I'm safe. But up here where my mic is, that's the next valid place. And then maybe my arm. Maybe you want to feint here, go up here. So then I end up going, bang. Or, fuck, I'm stuck. Bang, right? But I'm conscious about it and I'm honest about it. A lot of people miss that second half because they don't read the text in a way that they are allowed to get 2 data points out of something. They only read it once. And like, yeah, you can read it 14 times. I've read Tybalt 6 times now. That thing fucking hurts to read. And when I read things out loud, still, I'm on my 7th run through as I'm making these circles. And I have to read it out, and like the honesty of like, oh, this has to be so fucking real, or I'm going to put a video on the internet that everyone's going to fucking bully me for. And I'm finding data points. It's like, oh, I definitely skimmed over that. Or like I read it and was like, yeah, that's not important right now. Amazing. Reading it out loud, especially like having someone like Woody next to me and he's like, wait, what the fuck was that? That was cool. What? Oh. Yeah, it was. Fuck. Why does that feel like it's the first time I've ever read that? And that can be quite So allegedly, people would mumble and read things out. And they would read it out while they would copy books. And they would read it out while they read books. That you would read, you would be the speaker. You would write things on paper and you would go, pick up my left foot and do this. Okay, I can do that. Not. What? Wait, no, I can do that. Okay, yes, I did that for comedic effect. Reading internally can also just get whirlwinded with everything around you. You can get whirlwinded with memories. You can get whirlwinded with baggage. You can get whirlwinded with the fact that how many of you have fucking ADHD? That caring about speaking out loud can just quieten everything. Make it very conscious and very intentional. And when you add intentionality to the writing, you can also see the intentionality in the writing. I would make a bold claim that there is no one who has ever lived that can silently read and get more info and get more interaction and get more data out of something than most people, like fuck the corners of the bell curves. Someone who is just reading it out loud and listening to themselves and caring and living in this moment of reading. Because reading the word, hearing the word, sounding the word, you're producing a bunch of interactions. As an added thing, this thought pattern connects to something else I learned years ago. I liked Overwatch as like a team sport and as a fun thing. During the pandemic, that was pretty cool to me. I got to devote effort towards it in a way that my other team games, I just couldn't because they weren't there. I would watch videos on pro Overwatch teams and their coaching. One of the coaches I followed, I think his name was Jane, and it was really cool advice on if you find yourself doing dumb shit, like a lot, like if you're turning corners for no fucking reason, or you're just flicking your mouse around, or you just don't know where you're going, or you're making actions that make your teammates just actively start flaming you. Speak out loud the whole time. Don't use your internal monologue. Your internal monologue is a fucking ocean filled with barbed wire and all the things you don't want in your life. It's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. Don't take internal coaching from your fucking nightmares. Jeez, you're gonna live nightmares. But saying it out loud keeps you a bit honest. Don't have your fucking mic on, but saying every single move you make out loud does slow you down. Oh no. But you can track you. You can track you track yourself in the third person as well as the first person. That I am currently doing this. God, that sounds stupid. I shouldn't do that. Well, I am doing this for these goals. I'm doing this. I'm going to turn around this corner, but my mouse is already at head height. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, there's a bit more intentionality to it. And sure, you can definitely do that internally afterwards. But speaking out loud like that shoves all the other things to the side and keeps you honest. Your ability to make stupid mistakes that don't even make sense to yourself plummets. Now, wouldn't that be nice to do in your fencing? Wouldn't that be nice to do in real life? Not make just, I saw a target and I took it, and I don't truly understand why I did that. I saw something shiny. I just wanted to touch your sword. Why? I was scared. But if you said that in your head, it's so easy to just push it aside. If you say it out loud, like, oh, I did it because I'm stupid. So you can read slowly. You should read out loud. You should coach yourself just a little out loud. It may be such a profound experience that you will fight against it. You may be blasted with the ability to take responsibility for things that you weren't ready for in such a way that you may cope so intensely. And the stories you tell yourself and the stories you tell others may really override. And it may actually be quite a intense experience. Suddenly having all this responsibility that you didn't realize you were allowed to have, all this control, all this need to focus that you may not have known that you needed as a bare minimum to progress. That may be very intense, and not in the same intensity as like someone walking up to you in a bar and saying, like, I'm going to concuss you, give me your wallet. It doesn't feel the same, but your body may react in such a way that you will just fight against this advice, and you will cope your way to mediocrity at the lowest pace. Maybe. Or you may even find one of those funny little moments in your hobby that becomes a profound experience that changes your trajectory in fucking life. Maybe. Or I've just wasted 22 minutes and 49 seconds of your life.